It is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs taking on the Gold Coast Titans in one of the round's most unpredictable games. The Bulldogs unchanged 1-13. Their only changes coming on the bench: Avarillo in the 14, Thompson in the 17. Katoa goes out of the squad, as does Britt. It is going to be interesting to see how this one pans out, because the Titans do bring back Fotueka. He's on the bench though. Hipgrave on the bench as well, and Sam Lasoni has literally just won his judiciary appeal as well, so he will not have to sit this one out. So big bonus for the Titans.
Yeah, big time bonus. Usually we wouldn't have that news, but I slept for 6 hours after work, so apologies if this goes out late, everyone. We'll give some context to it. This is a tough one to pick. You've got a team of the Titans who, depending on who you ask, are either one of the year's most improved teams, or they're absolutely idiotic for giving a 5-year extension to Holbrook. Take your pick. I'm going with the former. The Dogs have not filled me with any great confidence. Obviously, they've got the new coach coming in. You could argue they probably could have and should have won their last 2 games. They played against the Warriors, were up 10-0 at one point. 10-0? I think they're up 14-6, sorry, and then choked. And then the Raiders, 20-12 at halftime, and then they get absolutely obliterated in the second half. Where do you look if you're a Dog supporter? I do feel really sorry for you guys. The combination of Ash Taylor, Jamal Fogarty, and AJ Brimson starting to find some cohesion there. I know we posted about it earlier today, saying that Ash Taylor would happily take a pay cut if he could stick with his spine and bring some more talent into the club. So I think he recognises he's not $1 million a year halfback. He's been paid superbly for what was essentially one game 5 years ago. But, he recognises that he needs to take a pay cut to stay at the club and to give the club a chance of finals footy. So I commend him on that. In terms of this week, as you mentioned, Dogs 1-13 with the 2 changes on the bench. Peachy at lock, I wasn't sold with last week. I'm still not sold with, although it probably was one of his better games. Bo Firma, I think he's really making a mark there at the second row there at the Titans. I think he's one that next year with Dave Fafita and Big Tino, I'm really liking the look of this Titans pack next year. But we can analyse that when we do our end-of-year reviews right here on CKM Red Rugby League's YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for those in about 8 weeks' time. AJ Brimson's looking fantastic. I think he's going to absolutely scorch Holland and Montoya. He's got the speed. Montoya has been pretty good defensively since coming back from his knee injury. But, that's been 3 games and he's come up against Dewey, who's a good fullback, but he's not quick. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, who I think burned him straight off the scrum for one of those tries, and Charles Nickel-Klokstad, who has probably been one of the more underrated players this year, in my opinion, one of the more underrated fullbacks. Hasn't been given a lot of credit for where the Raiders are at the moment. A lot of that has been around, just, oh my goodness, the Raiders are so injured, but then Tom Starling and then George Williams and Bateman coming back and all of that. So give credit where credit's due for Nickel-Klokstad. But in terms of this week, the fact that the Titans are $1.80 is laughable to me. I think that should be closer to about $1.60. I am going Titans on the head-to-head. I've just hyped Brimson up, so watch him have an absolute shocker. But AJ Brimson at 220, anytime try scorer. I don't really know if there's much else. They're not offering the under at the moment for the same game multi. I don't know why, but the over's 42.5. And I think I'm going to smack that. All on the floor, smack that, give me some more. 42.5. I'm taking the line. I hope you enjoyed that little rendition. Titans, AJ Brimson, over 42.5, 525. That'll do it for me.
Okay. I'm going to go the under. I'm going to go Titans 1 to 12. And I'm going to go Tonomapea anytime. The reason that I say the under is because two teams that are not renowned for scoring points, the Bulldogs only have 188 to their name, and the Titans only have 202. Points conceded, the Bulldogs are actually better defensively than the Titans, with 342 compared to their 367. So I think that will lead to there's not going to be a lot of points in this. I still think that it's going to be close because the Bulldogs have shown a little bit of heart in the last few weeks, and that seems to go a long way at the minute. And I think that Titans, however, are just full of confidence at the minute. Mathematically, they're the only Queensland team that can still make finals football. When was the last time we could say that about Gold Coast, if ever? So it is. I think that the Titans have got. I think even though that the Titans still are in contention, I think that they have less to play for than the Dogs, who are desperately trying to avoid the spoon at the minute. So I think that that's going to lead to a tight game, but I'd see the Titans edging this one just because of a little bit of a differential in the class and how they play. You've seen how the Titans are clicking through the middle as they move the ball to the edges. And that's why I think that Tonomapea is going to get over as well, just because he's looked really good as well. So, yeah, that's where I go for that one.
So I can't give you multi-odds because, as I said, Sportsbet at the moment don't have the under up as a potential selection for a same-game multi. What I can tell you is this. The Titans, who are paying $3 just for 1 to 12, into young Tonomapea, who's paying $3.50 for an anytime try scorer. That in itself is $10. If I had to hazard a guess with the under, that could be somewhere around a $20 multi.
One to take note of there.
Yeah, I'll once we know, well, hopefully by the time this gets edited by our wonderful tech whiz there, we can get you an odd for that. But if I had to hazard a guess, it's probably about $20. You are still paying the little troll under the desk for that, right, mate? That's the
no. Right, then. With that, then we'll move on to the next one.